How many times has it been when maybe you see someone and they're with someone else, maybe it's a friend or romantically, and you're like, how can that person be with that person? That other person, or, whatever, that person that they're seeing or that they're friends with, they have such bad energy or they're just not right for them. And that could be true, but it could also be that perhaps your electrical plug or your plug doesn't match into their socket. What do I mean? Now, this is not meant to sound sexual, although it might sound like that. But think about it this way. I'm based right now in the US. And the US, right, there are certain plugs that go into certain outlets, right? You buy something in the US, you plug it in somewhere, it'll work, right? Because there's a connection. But if I buy something in the US, and then let's say, for example, which I did in May of 2023, bought something in the US, went to South Korea, tried to plug in the thing that I, bought in the US, and it was like, it doesn't fit. Like, what's happening? Why? Because in South Korea, there's a different electrical socket, right? It's not until I said, maybe I need an adapter, or maybe I need to buy something in Korea, right, to then plug it into the socket here in Korea. But of course, when I go back to the US, if I bought something in Korea, I probably maybe can't use the same appliance. I maybe have to get an adapter when I go back to the US to plug it into the socket. Or, uh, you know, buy the same thing in the US so that it can fit in the socket. So I feel in the same way, if we look at it in the same way, that's the case with people's energy. You might be like, how can that person be with that person? They have bad vibes, or they're not right for them. Maybe it's just that there's no energetic connection. Maybe it's just that your plug doesn't fit into their energetic socket in regards to energy flow. But someone else, their energy flow, there's a connection there. So the plugs and sockets can fit. There's a mutual fit. But for you, it's not. And guess what? That's okay. Because you're not them and they're not you. We all have our own energetic flow. Energetic flow in regards to people that we hang out with, people that we connect with, right? And that's okay. And then there are times in which we have to adapt, right? We have to have an adapter, right? Whether that adapter is another person or whether we adapt ourselves internally to adapt to a situation or to someone else's energy so that there can be a flow. Because, most of the times, for example, when we are at work, we don't get a chance to really choose our employees unless you're a manager or director or CEO of a company. Usually you get hired and there's other people that you're working with that are already there. Maybe people get hired together. But it's not like you can pick and choose usually who you want. But sometimes you have to adapt. Our families, we're born into certain families. You might feel like, I don't feel like I fit this family, but sometimes you have to adapt, right? So realizing that, number one, that sometimes other people aren't meant for you, but sometimes they're meant for others that maybe you know, number one. Number two, sometimes moments in our life call for adapting to certain things in our life, right? So that's today's life lesson. I'm trying to think. The title of this video, maybe I'll make it, I don't know. Maybe I'll just call it plug it in, or something. Learning how to match energies, connection, and also adapting. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.